March 25th, 2025 council meeting to order. Start with flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Here.
Councilman Sackett.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
Councilman Brooks.
Here.
Councilwoman Noon. Here. Councilman Salberg.
Here.
Councilman Wojtovich.
Here.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Here.
Council President Morrison.
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Daily Record and the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township, the Township website, and notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk. Approval of the March 11th Township Council regular meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Wojtovich.
Abstain.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 8 yeses, 1 abstention. Motion carries. At this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mayor Jackson.
Excuse my back, as always. Thank you, Council President. It's always a thrill to be able to honor one of our educators at a council meeting or anywhere. So Carly, can you come up? So Carly Farrell's a teacher at Dwyer Elementary School. Again, an incredible school, a Blue Ribbon Award-winning school, one of only 8 in the state grade schools. Carly grew up in White Meadow Lake, went to Dwyer, went to Dwyer, and still wanted to come back and be a teacher there. She graduated from Rowan University. Carly's done some incredible things. She's participated in the TREPS market for the schools. During COVID, she participated in created a summer reading program to keep students engaged. And she's just all around the type of teacher we want in our district at one of our best schools in our district, in my opinion. So I want to give her a proclamation. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because I already talked about a lot of it, but I'd like to say, whereas Carly Farrell is one of 4 recipients of the Shine Educator of the Year Award presented by Child and Family Resources, whose purpose is to acknowledge educators who exemplify the spirit of their mission and values, whose professional practice and advocacy for professionalism are deemed exemplary. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Joe Jackson, wish to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Carly Farrell on receiving this prestigious award and thank her for her commitment to enriching the lives of the students of Catherine A. Dwyer Elementary School. So it's great to have a lot of Dwyer teachers here. Carly's parents are here. If you sit next to her father for 10 minutes, he's probably going to know somebody that knows you. I sat next to him at the dinner and was sure, right? So, thank you, Carly, for all you do. Thank you.
Does Mom and Dad want a picture with the mayor before we? Does Mom and Dad want a picture with the mayor? We good? Yeah, come on up. Do it now. They're still proud of you. It's okay.
I think I took the same picture in 5th grade from Dwyer.
Oh, we got to rehash it.
Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us.
Okay. We're going to move on to the introduction of the 2025 municipal budget. Before we do this, there's one motion that we need to correct. It was a procedural was a procedural issue we had at at the budget meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to modify the 2025 budget as presented and transfer $10,000 from the ice hockey sub-account 28,370,145 to Babe Ruth baseball sub-account 28,370,135 for $5,488, and to senior Babe Ruth baseball sub-account for account number 28,370,136 for $4,512. The numbers balance out. There is no material change. So the motion is on the table. Can I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that is 9 yeses. Motion carries. Eight motions, sorry. One abstention. All right, introduction of the 2025 municipal budget. O-2504, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses. Motion carries. Resolution R-2558, a resolution to introduce the 2025 municipal budget of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses. Motion carries. Resolution R-2559, resolution to cancel the reserve balance. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses. Motion carries. Before we introduce the resolution to go into closed session, I am going to move item R-2555 up. Resolution confirming the appointment of the municipal judge of the Township of Rockaway. Can I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses. Motion carries. Congratulations. Okay. In a second, I'm going to introduce a resolution for the council to go into a closed session. What will happen, for those who are not familiar, the council will leave the chambers here. I anticipate it to be no longer than 30 minutes. Should it be longer than 30 minutes, I will send the clerk back out to inform everybody. At that point, we will come back out and continue the meeting. Resolution R-2560, a resolution authorizing an executive closed session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act to discuss pending and anticipated litigation. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses. Motion carries. I'll see everybody in the conference room. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to return from closed session. Can I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. Ordinances for introduction. O-2505, an ordinance fixing the salaries of various officials and contractual employees of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance O-2506, an ordinance fixing the salaries of various officials and non-contractual employees of the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. Okay, before this next ordinance that we introduce, this deals with the Citizens Rec Committee. I know there's been a lot of questions. I've had a lot of people from the public reach out to me. This is really going to be covered in two parts. There's an ordinance we're introducing now, which I'll read in a second, and then later in this meeting, there is a resolution. So just to explain to everybody what is happening. So the ordinance that we're going to be introducing in a second here repeals the Citizens Rec Committee. All right, so right now, the Citizens Rec Committee is a committee of private citizens that make recommendations based on the code of conduct for the sports leagues that we have, right? So it's problematic for the town in that through enforcing or trying to enforce a code of conduct when the CRC doesn't actually have standing to do so, could put the town into a liability situation. Okay, so what we're doing here in this ordinance is we're going to be repealing that and removing the CRC. There is a resolution later in this meeting, which I will read, which returns back to the leagues the ability to self-govern. We are not removing insurance, right? So we're actually, the coaches and staff of these sports leagues will actually be in a better position. They will be insured, whereas they are personally not now. The resolution later will stipulate that these leagues will need to create and initiate and submit to the town a code of conduct, which will then be submitted to JIF, or the insurance company. The insurance company will approve it or send it back, but, we'll make sure it's square. So the insurance company will approve it. At that point, the leagues will self-govern. What it does is it cuts the link between the town and the teams, whereas no link should actually exist. Okay, it doesn't touch, we passed the budget, they have their funding, it doesn't touch that. All right, so I just want to be clear on that. Okay, ordinance O-2507, an ordinance repealing Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-38, entitled Youth Sports Code of Conduct, and Section 2-40, entitled Citizens Recreation Committee. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
No.
Councilman Quinn.
No.
Councilman Brooks.
I have to abstain.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
No.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 5 yeses, 3 noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. O-2508, bond ordinance appropriating $4,286,375 and authorizing the issuance of $1,821,585 bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion carries. O-2509, bond ordinance appropriating $1,629,000 and authorizing the issuance of $1,547,550 bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken in and by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey for the water supply and distribution system of the township. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. O-2510, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of a new sewer vacuum truck by the Township of Rockaway in the County of Morris, New Jersey, appropriating $564,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $535,800 bonds or notes of the township for financing such appropriation. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion carries. The other thing I forgot to mention was we just introduced the ordinance with the CRC. At the next meeting, we will be adopting it, at which point it will be open for public comment and discussion. Ordinances for adoption. An ordinance, O-2501, an ordinance amending Chapter 54 entitled Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Rockaway to amend its regulations pertaining to the raising and keeping of chickens on residential properties. Can I have a motion? I'm sorry. Before we have the motion, we're going to open it up to council discussion on this matter. Councilman Brooks.
Okay, so thank you, Council President. Just wanted to start out and give everybody a little bit of clarity of why this ordinance was originally brought forth about a year ago in our ordinance committee. We had several residents over the last several years reach out to us in regards to the keeping of chickens on their property. And in doing research, there's a lot of, I don't want to say mixed emotions, but there's mixed confusion within the existing law. So based upon that confusion, we were looking into setting something straight, so this way it was established and on the books, just pertaining to one particular chicken, in that sense. Not so much one chicken, but just in chickens in general. The existing zoning ordinance talks about poultry, which is different than what a chicken is, okay, in the definition from what our ordinance is. And that is where we were originally looking to establish this. This way we had guidelines in terms of what kind of property, the size of the property, the amount of chickens that you had, and everything else along those lines. Okay, our town does have a right to farm ordinance. Okay, it's 54-31. Okay, and that's the right to farm, and that is only allowed to be done on properties within the R5, the R88, and the R40 zone, and having more than 5 acres. So at that point, we were looking to possibly change that, so this way it would open the opportunity up for more people, because that was what the request was. I was put on that committee having knowledge of chickens. The reason why I have knowledge of chickens is because I have pet chickens on my property. I've had pet chickens on my property for about 14 years in this town, okay? I went to the town when I originally purchased the property and asked if I was able to have pet chickens, and I was told I could have pet chickens on my property because I did not violate any of the laws pertaining to the chickens. The chickens here, just to say, is associated with poultry. And just to give you a little definition and a little bit background about me, about myself, I am an architect. Okay, one of my biggest things as an architect that I do is I examine zoning ordinances. Okay, in doing so, I'm able to look at each different piece of property or each different project that somebody has and be able to determine what you can or can't do on your piece of property. And like a rule book in baseball or hockey or any other sport, a zoning ordinance kind of runs the same way. It's not cut and dry. There's interpretations. Thus the reason we have lawyers and we go to court and you look at your interpretation and see what you have. So just to kind of give you a little rundown, in our Chapter 9 Animal Control section of the code, okay, we have certain things called definitions, okay? One of those definitions is poultry. Poultry is something that is discussed in the zoning and the agricultural activities within the right to farm in Rockaway Township, okay? This includes chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, guinea fowl, pigeons, and any other fowl commonly kept, raised, and sold for human consumption. That is the key word there, human consumption. That is what poultry is, okay? A chicken doesn't necessarily need to be considered poultry, okay? A chicken is a domesticated animal, all right, which our code allows as pets. A domesticated animal is kept for amusement or companionship. Doesn't say a dog, it doesn't say a cat, it says a pet is a domesticated animal. As you can see here, these are all different domesticated animals that we are currently have in our country. Okay? Chicken is one of them. A horse is one of them. A deer is not a domesticated animal. Okay? A pig is a domesticated animal. You can have a pet pig. Okay? Now, with that being said,
I had a pet pig.
Councilman, yes, he had a pet pig. All right? So those are the things that are sitting there for someone to look at. The town allows people to have pets. Okay? What? So you won't let me go through my whole spiel? I have a time frame?
A little bit of a time frame.
All right, fine. I'm just going to sum it up real quick. All right? Based on our town ordinance, we currently have, there is discrepancy between things that have happened in years past and things that happen now. And I think the ordinance was trying to correct that so that there wasn't misconceptions and lawsuits. Okay? The last thing I want to say is there are over 11 million households in the United States that have chickens as pets. It is the third most popular pet in the country. And I'll end it there, even though I had a lot more to talk about, but we'll leave it at that.
Anyone else on the council?
Yeah?
Councilman Matovich?
Yeah, I would like to add to that. I mean, just like Councilman Brooks said, a lot of residents have emailed us in support of this ordinance. A lot of residents have personally spoken to me saying that other municipalities in the surrounding area allow people to have backyard chickens. Why can't we? And that's why this was brought to the council to allow residents to have chickens. Now, the planning board issued a letter stating that, this is in violation of a master plan. But looking over the master plan, which was updated last in 2019, the plan talks about references community needs, socioeconomic trends that the community welcomes. And this is something that is going on in this state throughout the country. I don't see why we wouldn't allow our residents to own chickens, backyard chickens. The planning board has referenced New Jersey land use law and defined a master plan as a written proposal. They're trying to state that we can't support this based on a recommendation, but again, it's a recommendation from them. and it states in the letter from the planning board that the governing body, when considering the adoption of a development regulation revision or amendment thereto, shall review the report of the planning board and may disapprove or change any recommendations by a vote of majority. So, I think a lot of residents expressed support for this ordinance. I would think that the council would support it as well. You have a most congested city in the state of New Jersey, like Jersey City, that allows people to own chickens, and I haven't seen any reports of anybody dying from influenza or anything like that, so I would definitely be in support of this ordinance.
Anyone else from the council? Councilwoman Brooks?
So I asked a few questions to the administration in regards to this ordinance. So my biggest thing is enforcement, right? So, and I want to thank everyone in all the departments for chiming in and answering my questions in such detail. So just so everyone knows, Danville, you have to have 5 acres to have chickens. So the surrounding towns really don't have backyard chickens, and allowing to have chickens on a half of acre, we would have an eligible 1,854 lots that would be eligible to have backyard chickens. If 10% of those residents chose to have chickens, and depending on their lot size, but we're gonna keep it simple, the minimum lot size can have 4, you're looking at roughly 750 chickens. So, my concern simply is enforcement. We then talk about private communities then having to state that if they don't want the chickens, they have to create rules within their own community to trump the ordinance, and I may ask legal if that's correct in my interpretation of that. If they choose to do that, are we as the township then also required to help them enforce their rule to say no to the chicken? So for example, White Meadow Lake. So I've only received 3 emails from 3 residents in terms of wanting backyard chickens. I've received multiple concerns about them in general, and people are not in favor of them. So I'm just trying to understand where the community truly is in terms of, is there truly a need or a desire for this? When I see a lot of concern about how we would enforce it. This ordinance goes into a lot of depth, which I feel will put a lot of stress on the departments to enforce it. So, Mr. Talbot knows, I'm going to probably ask, we have currently dog and cat licenses, correct?
Correct, Council.
We are not requiring people to license their chickens.
Is that a question?
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry, this ordinance isn't requiring that. So if abandonment is illegal or prohibited within the ordinance and there's just chickens running around, how do I say that's Tim's chicken? And how do we do that? Right? I just feel like it's a lot of burden on the community, the administration, for people's chickens potentially just to be loose. And I know it sounds so silly, and I feel silly saying it. I think the concept is cool, don't get me wrong, but I think realistically, and the enforcement from the township it's unrealistic. And I think it's potentially putting us in a bad spot. So how many dog and cat licenses are still expired, roughly? Even though I know you probably know like a number, because you're so good.
Councilwoman, we have several hundred at this point out of 3,700 licensed dogs and cats. I don't know the precise number, probably more than 600 at this point.
Are still unlicensed or expired?
That were to be relicensed by January 31st.
Okay. So again, we can't get residents to renew their dog licenses or their cat licenses. We're not requiring them to license chickens. If the chicken gets sick, it also states that it needs to be reported to the health department. I just feel like there's a lot of work put on the administration and the enforcement of it that's just unrealistic. So, that's all I have.
Anyone else from the council?
I just want to say, ditto to what Councilwoman Brooks says. And I'm just going to say what I've said from the beginning. I'm not against chickens. I just feel like we need to just cut it down gradually. Go from 5 to 3. not 5 to a half an acre. I think that's really irresponsible, and I think puts a lot of pressure on administration that they don't need.
There are stipulations in the ordinance that would determine the placement of the chicken coops and such that would effectively eliminate a lot of the lot sizes. So the lot sizes may be small, however, to follow the ordinances of how big the coop needs to be, as far as setbacks, far away from property lines, it would effectively exclude a large portion of those smaller acreage houses. So it's not a free-for-all. I also, again, my personal feeling is that once this ordinance is, if it passes, there's not a whole bunch of people like waiting to race off, to Tractor Supply to buy some chickens. If they wanted chickens, they already have chickens. This just gives us some framework to enforce it. Councilwoman Brooks and I tend to agree on most things, but in a case like this, I don't want to not put something out there for fear that we won't be able to enforce it. By that thinking, we wouldn't need the ordinance because we couldn't enforce not having chickens, right? So that's just my 2 cents. Councilman?
Yeah, just to not go back, but rebuttal some of the things that Councilwoman Brooks said. I'm not concerned with enforcement. I'm not a believer in big government. So to worry about licensing all of that, I think that allowing people to own chickens is not that big of a deal. And just from my own experience, if a chicken stays out at night, nature will take care of it. You won't find it the next morning. So I don't see any chickens roam around for days or months because there's plenty of critters out there that will take care of that for you. The same thing applies to this disposal of those chickens. If it's out there, something will pick it up.
Okay, is there anybody from the administration that
Can I
wishes to
just
speak
say
on this?
one more thing?
Hang on, because I don't want to do anybody from
Can't go twice.
anybody from the administration? Okay, Councilwoman?
Also, when we introduced this, and Mr. Alardi's not here, Mr. Alardi brought help me out from Princeton about the water, the water. So did anybody look into that from administration or have any
I would
comments on that?
stipulate that the runoff from the fertilizer around the lake is a order of magnitude greater than a handful of chickens that may or may not live near the
If
lake.
you ever lived on Lake Apacon, they don't let you have fertilizer, but they let you have chicken manure.
Okay, now, we are going to open this up to public comment. I am going to read this, I normally read this before the regular open to the public session, but it bears reading now. I want to remind everyone of the rules that apply to anyone who wants to address the council. Any member of the public wishing to address the council will have 3 minutes to do so. While an extension of time may be requested, it should not be assumed that an extension of time will be granted. While addressing the council, members of the public may not address or question any individual council member. If anyone addressing the council violates these rules or conducts themselves inappropriately, their speaking opportunity will be terminated, and they will be instructed to return to their seat. A refusal to comply will result in removal from the room. Members of the public in attendance may not make comments from the audience without recognition by the chair. Persons doing so will be subject to removal from the room. As council president, I have tremendous respect for my fellow council members and the public who take the time and effort to attend council meetings. These rules are necessary to permit the council to do its business in an orderly and professional manner. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this ordinance? Please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker Kelly, 16 Megan's Road, Rockaway, New Jersey. First, before you hit the timer, Mr. Salberg, I'm glad to see that you're back and I hope you're feeling better from your incident you had at the budget meeting. What we've had here today, I haven't heard anything from anybody in regards to the report or even the complete report from the planning board from Mrs. Platts. It just wasn't something very small, Mr. Wojtovich, that she mentioned. It was multiple pages addressing a lot of the issues and concerns, wildlife, dead animals, flu, enforcement, and so forth and so on. So just giving a small narrative, I don't think that's something that's rational. We also have an engineer, we also have our health specialists here that both don't want the chicken ordinance that's there, or that's here before us. But one thing I don't hear is that, in Rockaway Township, in our inventory that we have 8,900 homes, residential homes, and 24 out of that 8,900 are farms. So you're telling me that we have maybe a few people that had an interest in it, but I haven't heard that there's thousands of people that are interested in having a chicken or chicken ordinances that are there. But interesting though, one thing, is that this all started, which everybody seems that this is like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Councilman Brooks contacted through the
Hang on.
ordinance committee.
No,
I'm not talking to him directly.
I'm asking you to stop. You're out of line. We are not addressing any personal situations. Councilman, this
I
is your
am-
first warning.
I am telling you, I'm talking to the council, not asking questions. You stated in your statement before, coming up to the open public
You are
portion.
not to bring up any individual council members or any of their personal situations outside of their council purview. This is your warning.
Mr. Morrison, we have an issue because you originally said that the individual was conflicted out because of the issues that have been going on with that individual personally, Councilman Brooks. We have summonses on a council member for violating the chicken ordinance and farming.
All right, I'm going to ask you to sit down. Your time is revoked.
So with that being,
Time is revoked.
you can't-
This is your second warning. I warned you not to bring up individual council members, any issues that they have with violations that have nothing to do within the purview of the council. I am asking you to return to your seat, and this is your second warning. I'm telling you,
I'm asking you to reconsider,
I am-
and then I can go forward on the rest of what I have to say during this period of
my
time.
answer is no. Please sit down. Is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak on this matter? Okay, now. 02501, an ordinance amending Chapter 54 entitled Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Rockaway to amend its regulations pertaining to the raising and keeping of chickens on residential properties. Can I have a motion?
So moved. I'll second it.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Abstain.
Councilwoman New.
No.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
No.
Council President Morrison.
Yes. 6 yeses, 2 noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. O2502, an ordinance amending Chapter 54 entitled Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Rockaway, creating a new section 54-30.71 entitled RMFO 12B, Hospitality and Affordable Multifamily Residential Overlay District. I need to make a motion to carry this over to the April 22nd meeting due to the necessity to provide notice to the Office of Planning Advocacy. So that is my motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman New.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. Ordinance 02503, ordinance amending Chapter 7, Article 2 of the revised ordinances of the Township of Rockaway in order to amend ordinances Section 6066, establishing Title 39 Traffic Enforcement Plan for the regulation of parking, standing ingress, egress, and the flow of traffic on private property owned by Pondview, Inc., identified on the official tax map of Rockaway Township as Block 11501, lots 41, 45, 47.01, and 47.02, and Block 11502, Lot 2. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any council discussion on this ordinance? Anybody from the public wishes to speak on this ordinance? Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman New.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, that's 9 yeses, motion carries. All right, we have the consent agenda coming up. However, I am going to read the one resolution regarding the sports leagues that we were just talking about.
We have discussion on that, because I have a question that popped up.
We will. What'd you say? We vote on it. We are going to vote on everything together, but I just want to read this one out loud for the benefit of the public. Let me read it first. It's Resolution R2561, a resolution establishing certain qualifying sports leagues, teams, groups, as Class 4 quasi-municipal entities and authorizing the provision of commercial general liability and non-owned automobile insurance coverage to such leagues, teams, groups, and their volunteers. You were going to make a motion, Councilwoman?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pull R25-61 for discussion.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vujtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion carries. All right, we're going to vote on the three remaining resolutions, R2554, R2556, and R2557. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vujtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses, motion carries. Councilwoman Noon, the floor is yours.
Okay, so with the introduction of R2507, which was introduced, if it does not pass, at the next meeting, what happens to R2561? Are we putting the cart before the horse?
Mr. Yachafano?
R20, as I explained to the council, R2561 is in effect the mechanical component of the changes envisioned by the ordinance that has been moved for introduction and passed for introduction tonight. It is an essential part of the package. In the event that the ordinance itself does not pass, my recommendation to the council at that time may be to table this for further consideration, but I'm really not very good at being a fortune teller, so my suggestion to the council would be let's wait to see what happens with the ordinance. This particular resolution, as its title suggests, has first identifies all of the eligible leagues, teams, groups that would be classified as quasi-municipal entities, and therefore subject to being insured through the JIF for the programs they maintain. The insurance would include all the teams and the volunteers that run and or administer the teams. It is intended, as is the ordinance, to move the township away from the liability target position that it is presently in, considering the way these effectively independent athletic teams, groups, leagues operate, which needlessly exposes the township to liability. So that, what this really is, as I said earlier, is the hammer, saw, nails, etc., that build the house that the ordinance constitutes the plans for. That's the best way I could describe it to you.
Any other council discussion on this resolution? Okay. Resolution R2561. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
No.
Councilman Quinn.
Seeing I haven't even read it, no.
Councilman Brooks.
I have to abstain.
Councilwoman Noon.
I'm going to abstain.
Councilman Salberg.
No.
Councilman Vujtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 4 yeses, 3 noes, 2 abstentions. Is the majority of the count? Do we need 5 or 4 for that? If it's 4 to 3?
5.
You need 5?
Yep.
Okay, motion does not pass. Okay, we are going to move to the open to the public portion. I'll ask everybody to remember what I read into the record earlier as far as the quorum that's expected. I'm going to read down this list. I will ask you to step up to the front. You'll state your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes. Evelyn Stark. We don't start your 3 minutes till you get up here, it's okay.
Good
Just
evening.
name and address, please.
My name is Evelyn Stark, and I live in 15 Roanoke Avenue in One Meadow Lake. I come here to please thank you to the mayor for the Dial-A Ride program, especially for us seniors that don't drive. It's absolutely a great service. But there are some changes in this program that are affecting us, the seniors. One of those programs right now is that we need to use our computer to put our appointments. Not all of us, and I have to say I am one. I am not succeed with the computers. Thank God that my husband is. So I do prefer to call and talk to somebody on the office to put my appointment on time. It is sometimes very hard because now the appointments are 2 weeks. I have the experience to have cataract surgery, went to my doctor, and he wanted to see me the following week. So I called the office, and they told me that it was in 2 weeks. I said, but I need to see him next week. So thank God that the program has wonderful drivers, that some of them put it good for me that I needed to go. It was an emergency that I needed to go to the doctor. I think we have a great, absolutely very good program. And I think we should go back into that program that not only was going to appointments for the doctors, was also going, of course, we're going to ShopRite. I understand that it is going the appointments to the doctors. But also, we used to go as a social, we used to get together to go out for lunch or breakfast. And I think we should go back to that. Thank you very much.
Could I address just while you're here, thank you for coming up and your concerns. So the option to call and book your appointments is still there. So if you can't use a computer, you can do that. You can have somebody call.
Yes.
The 2-week notice has always been the rule. We try to accommodate quicker, but it's always been the rule. You've always been required to give 2 weeks' notice. Yeah.
But it used to be before that we used to call, and it was possible that we can have it before. It was.
And if it is possible, we do it. We will accommodate it, but it's always been the rule. I can't say why things weren't enforced before, but it's always been the rule, as long as I've known the Dial-A-Ride program. But we will accommodate it whenever we can to do it within 2 weeks.
It is possible to change it in a sense that it's an emergency, it could be done.
So it's a free service that we provide our residents. We do our best to accommodate everybody's needs, but the schedule is built out 2 weeks. So to put somebody in, if the schedule's packed for 2 weeks, it's hard to put somebody in. If we can do it, we will. But it's hard. And I thought we did, I thought we were still doing periodically social things, so if we're not, I'll find out about that. But I thought we were doing that. I thought we were still going to ShopRite.
Right now is only going into one that is the Red Hat only. We used to go, and I said it again, when we used to call the office, and maybe you're absolutely correct, Major, that maybe it was 2 weeks, but we used to have somebody in that office that used to say, let me see what I can do. Even though when we finish our appointment before time, that we call the office, and we used to call the office, and it says, well, I cannot, let me see if somebody can pick you up right away, or as soon as possible. It is some changes, mayors, really, that are becoming a little bit harder for us, the seniors.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, there's probably an opportunity to do a separate session, question and answer with the mayor.
But absolutely, you can call in and we'll try to accommodate whatever we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jackie Bader?
I'm going to be here with two other representatives. My name is Jackie Bader, 129 Richard Mine Road, Dover mailing, but it's Rockaway Township. The other two people with me here, I'm going to be also, we're going to be speaking together. I'm going to be speaking.
She's our spokesperson.
So do you want them to introduce themselves?
No, you can speak.
Okay. So my name is Jackie Bader. I am the chair of the RTCC, the Recreation Committee that was just, I guess, up for abolishment. And this is Tom Warner and Pat Egan. There are some other members that could not be here tonight because we did not know this was going to be on the docket for tonight, so therefore we couldn't all be here. I would like to clarify that we would just like to be involved in helping to make informed decisions on taking away this committee and any bylaws and code of conduct changes that are being made or discussed. With this ordinance 02507 that was just not pushed forward, but just to explain a little more, not all of the organizations have proper bylaws, no less updated ones. We've spent the last 12 months working on creating a template of bylaws so that all organizations can have updated and relevant to today's environment. A lot of the bylaws have been at least 10 to 15 years old. So because we see all of the issues that come before our board, which is another question in here, is who's going to solve the issues when it gets moved to the next level, when these people are not happy with what's going on at their current organization. They come to us for recommendations. We cannot rule on anything. We only make recommendations and we confirm if they have followed bylaws and our code of conduct through Rockaway Township. Our sole reason for doing all this as an organization, we're volunteers, just like a lot of other organizations, is we do this for the kids to keep them safe, have equal opportunities in a recreation sport and a fun environment in this town. We want to keep them out of the mall and causing havoc and all of these other things. We want them to be in an environment that our community promotes. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I did email the town council, mayor, and administration a very long and lengthy email explaining how removing the code of conduct and removing the committee can make other issues, as well as supporting our volunteers. By pushing this to the level of making the code of conduct be within the bylaws, you're making it harder for volunteers.
So let me explain, if the gentleman wish to concede their time to you. Okay.
Patrick Egan, 59 Lennox Road.
All right, by removing the code of conduct, it puts a greater strain on volunteers to enforce the rules without backing and potentially leading to inconsistent discipline and increased conflict within programs. We have a hard enough time to get board members on any of these committees and organizations. No less for them to be updating bylaws and code of conduct and then enforcing it, and then what do they do when it doesn't work and they have to move to the next level? There is no more next level. Now it's what? Do they meet with the council? Do they meet with the mayor? Who do they meet with, and how does that work? We're trying to prevent the organizations to feeling that they're not backed because they don't have somewhere else to go to ask questions to. We field questions all the time on trying to explain things. we go for here and understand what one organization is having issues with, and we explain it to the other organizations. You know, even little things like now social media. You know, social media, we, in our new thing that we've been putting together for our recommendations of code of conduct, we have a whole social media clause on how you cannot talk bad about a coach or another parent on social media. Like, that is something that is unfortunate, and people are very nasty and put it out there. So we as a committee have put together all these things. Again, we're volunteers. This is not a paying job. Like, we're doing this out of the kindness of our heart because we're trying to make a better environment for our children. And as everybody can see on the news and everything else these days, parents are being more aggressive. Children sometimes are being more aggressive. You need to have something backing it and people to explain. Maybe we're not lawyers, but we can at least explain what's happening in one area. And hey, maybe you want to update your bylaws. Maybe you guys want to get to this before it happens in your organization. And that's what we do. We literally, you know, we hear a lot of complaints, and we try and help them. All right, so I would like to put my email. Yes, we want to help everyone out. We do not want to make more issues. If you would like to want us to be involved in making those, you know, some new resolution to, you know, even if it is removing us, if it works better for the kids, that's what we're here for. But I would like to make a motion to put my email into the meeting minutes.
Is it the same one you sent earlier?
Yes.
I'll make sure it's fine.
Okay, because it's a long 3-page email and nobody really wants to all hear it again. But I'd like to make a motion to put it in there. That's it, right? Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
On a side note, I know the three of you, not just here, but do a lot of extensive volunteer work to town. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan Haggart? You have to follow that now.
Yeah, right. Good luck. I am not good at public speaking, which is why I have this. This is my wife, Nikki. I'm Dan. We live at 290 Richard Mine Road. In hell, basically, right now.
Yes.
And I just want to express some concerns that we have at the moment. We appreciate the opportunity to voice our deep concerns regarding a matter of urgent importance to our community. We live on Lower Richard Mine Road, right smack in the thick of it. We are here to address the growing safety and infrastructure issues caused by excessive traffic and hazardous conditions stemming from I-80 and the surrounding roads. These issues are not just inconveniences, they pose serious risks to our residents, our children, and even our emergency response teams. At this point, we do not feel safe and supported in any way whatsoever, and we believe immediate action is necessary. Here are our concerns. Traffic violations and safety concerns. Excessive speeding. The posted 25-mile-an-hour speed limit is routinely ignored, with drivers frequently exceeding 50 miles an hour. No joke there. Especially during off-peak hours when roads are clear. Massive semi-trucks and weight issues. Residential roads are not designed to handle the constant influx of massive semi-trucks. The excessive weight is causing road damage, creating safety hazards, and further contributing to traffic congestion. Dangerous living conditions. Interstate-level traffic at our doorstep has made it unsafe to enjoy our own property. We no longer feel comfortable due to the persistent danger of speeding vehicles. Threat to children's safety. Retrieving objects from the road has become life-threatening. Additionally, the presence of unknown individuals, including potential sex offenders, for prolonged periods raises serious concerns of ours. Infrastructure strain and deterioration. Our roads were not built to handle this level of traffic, and we are seeing worsening conditions that make travel even more hazardous. Try to hurry up. Impact on school transportation. Severe delays. School transportation is consistently delayed by 45 to 90 minutes for routes that should take no more than 15 minutes. Harmful effects on children. These delays contribute to sensory overload, communication struggles, and increased social anxiety among the students. Environmental and public health hazards. Severe air pollution. Constant traffic congestion and idling vehicles generate harmful emissions, increasing the risk of respiratory illness, asthma, and long-term health complications for residents, particularly children and seniors. Yeah, it's smelling diesel all day long is not fun. Excessive noise pollution. The nonstop roar of high-speed traffic, honking, extremely loud music, 24/7, and heavy truck activity have made it nearly impossible for residents to enjoy their homes in peace. Imagine this taking place 24/7. Well, this is our reality and everybody else on Richard Mine right now. Illegal dumping and public sanitation issues. The amount of trash alongside our road is embarrassing and disgusting. These commuters have turned our community into an unsanitary and unsafe environment. Can I use her 3 minutes? And I'm almost done. Structural and economic concerns. Compromised areas near Richard Mine. The structural integrity of certain areas poses a risk to homes and businesses, potentially leading to devastating consequences. Road damage and infrastructure strain. Heavy semi-trucks are significantly deteriorating residential roads, leading to increased maintenance costs and hazardous driving conditions. Infrastructure strain and deterioration. Our roads were not built to handle this level of traffic, and we are seeing worsening conditions that make travel. Did we do this already? Oh, that make travel even more hazardous. Declining property values. The persistent hazards and deteriorating conditions are negatively impacting property values and quality of life.
Last page.
Some proposed solutions and immediate actions that we ask for. Weight restrictions for the large vehicles.
No semis, please, no semis.
And 4 strict weight limits on residential roads to reduce infrastructure damage and improve safety. Improved emergency vehicle access. Current traffic conditions severely hinder emergency response, putting lives at risk. It's a pretty dangerous situation. Increased law enforcement presence. Regular police patrols and speed enforcement cameras should be implemented to ensure compliance with traffic laws. How about a sign on Route 80 before the Mount Hope exit notifying truckers that no trucks are allowed? Because apparently they don't know how to read, and it's a problem. And I know this is way far-fetched, but possibly opening up the back entrance to Picatinny and letting them deal with the traffic.
Now it sounds crazy, but we're just trying to think outside.
Anything. Speaking for all of us, it is a living nightmare for all of
Our
us.
son's school is 5 minutes away. He came home, he gets out of school at 5:15. He came home.
3:15.
3:15. He came home on Friday at 4:45.
That's a long day for these
4:45.
kids.
I already take him to school every day because of the busing situation, but now I also have to pick him up. I'd rather him be in the bus with me, or in the car with me, than sit in a bus for an hour and a half.
Perhaps getting state aid would help.
Just at least
I believe we need state aid at this point because it's a
So,
real issue.
and I don't want to speak for administration. I'm sure one of them is going to cover this in their reports.
Okay.
I think, I don't want to dissuade anybody else from speaking, but I'm sure there are going to be other people.
Yeah.
So if it's possible, right? So, first of all, you did a great job. You say you're not good at public speaking.
I'm not good at public.
You guys make a good team, by the
Yeah,
way.
you make a good team, right.
I just want to state that.
I felt like me and my wife. She was like, "You didn't read this yet. You didn't read that." Yeah, no, that was good. But I couldn't agree more with what you said. I can't even imagine what you're all going through. So I just want to go through a few things, okay? Number one, we currently do have DOT message boards at, for exit 37 and 35. It says no through trucks, local delivery only, and message boards at the intersection of Mount Hope Road and Mount Hope Ave North, directing traffic with a left arrow to Route 80 and 15. A message board is at the intersection of Mount Hope Ave and Richard Mine Road with an arrow to Route 15. No trucks. Another message board on Mount Road by the pond, Mount Hope Road by the pond. No Picatinny through traffic. The traffic division has been rotating the message trailers as recharging is necessary. Officers have been checking the areas, dealing with increased accidents on Route 15, as well as there have been several road rage incidents, as you can imagine. Picatinny has granted access for police, fire, and EMS to enter the Army Gate at Mount Hope and Lake Denmark to quickly access Pondview Estates on Route 15. We're continuing working at today. I had a conversation with Senator Bucco for just what you said, more state aid. We need help, so they're looking at businesses in Roxbury and Wharton, and I said our biggest issue is Richard Mine Road, and we need support from the state to resolve the issues on Richard Mine Road. So I did convey that, and I defer to the chief now. There was a call today. If you want to give any updates, chief.
Yeah, good evening. Just additionally to the comments that the mayor had made, one of the other things in today's meeting with the NJDOT, first of all, I would direct everybody directly to their website for all the updates. I also have a Route 80 specific webpage. I sent that out in the last, on 3/21, I sent out an update, a PDF that had a webpage link to that specifically for the I-80. And as you said, this is a state of emergency for New Jersey, right? It's unprecedented where Interstate 80 has stopped, and it impacts negatively all the surrounding communities, and everybody is trying to make their way as such. One of the things that came to light in today's meeting was they have been working hand in hand with all of the digital messaging apps, Waze, Google, all right? And what they have done is they're trying to work with the algorithms to in fact make the detour routes the priority routes given out on all of those applications. So some of them you can already pull up where they've shown, for example, restricted access as a thoroughfare through Picatinny. So those things, Richard Mine Road. So one of the three things that they are definitely removing from those apps: Snake Hill Road, Richard Mine Road, and the Mount Hope Gate access to Picatinny. So all that traffic doesn't go up to Picatinny. All right, as well as all local messaging that we currently have to regulate the traffic in those areas.
Okay, but the big problem is that there's signs everywhere, like you mentioned. Nobody's enforcing it. Nobody, and I understand you guys are probably working super hard.
But just to maybe at the top of the road and at the end of the road, I mean, maybe even set up some cameras just so you see who it is, because it's extreme.
Yeah.
It really is bad.
Periodically,
I cannot leave, I'm sorry.
periodically there is an officer at the corner of Mount Hope
Yes.
and Richard Mine. Periodically, not
not
all the time.
Right.
Sometimes.
And that's what I'm trying to reach out to the state, like, we need a trooper station there, yeah, and that's what I've asked for.
I can't leave my house.
Yeah, it's, I can't even imagine what we're going through.
Flip off, just front me down.
Also, just so you would know, for commercial trucking, the NJDOT, aside from just those apps that everybody's aware, they also have digital messaging directly with commercial trucking, right? So they have another means in which to get that message out, as well as the mayor mentioned, those two digital signs that are both at the exit 37 and 35 to tell that it's local delivery only and not truck through traffic.
So I don't want to, I really feel like we're getting sidelined a little bit. I don't want to take away from anybody else's time that will be available. Listen, it's unfortunate what happened, you know. Route 80 closed in sinkhole, not on my bingo card, you know. But I certainly, you know, I wish you guys can see what we see, all the work that's going into it. Everything that you're saying, they hear you, we hear you, right? And believe me, the chief and the mayor and the administration are working hard on everything that you stated.
So when do we come back for a follow-up?
Hopefully you won't need a follow-up, and by then,
I would feel a lot better. I would feel a lot better if we could somehow patrol up at the top of Richard Mine by the state.
Okay.
so I'll ask the chief. Everybody here will have their own report, and I'm sure the chief and the mayor have additional information.
And I do want to let you know, on Saturday, I punished myself and intentionally drove in it just to see.
It's 24/7.
I know, well, and I didn't go on Richard Mine Road because I thought I'm just going to increase the problem, but the issue I saw that I told the state is that when you're coming off 80 and getting on 15, all those people getting off Richard Mine Road are cutting across 3 lanes of traffic to get, and that's, to me, the biggest thing that's causing the 80 traffic, and they need to figure, like, the state needs to help us figure it. I can't even imagine, so anything
Again, guys,
we're
I don't-
focused on it, we're working on it.
I don't want to get sidelined.
Yep.
We still have a lot to go over.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
So 2 weeks?
Next meeting's 2 weeks.
If
but
I
we're
could-
gonna
if I could make
we're
it
gonna work
happen,
on it now.
We would. Apologies for butchering some of these names. Joe Alen, that's you. You good? Okay. I don't want to make you walk back. Beth Thompson? Tom? Sorry. Okay, you're gonna do fine. They did fine. They were nervous too. Just state your name and address, please.
Beth Thumpser, 13 Henry Street.
Go ahead.
It's in reference to Dial a Ride, which is an amazing program. I'm here 58 years, and I've used it only in maybe the last 7 years, and it's amazing. A lot of things have changed from when it started. You do have to call for a week ahead. I've called for 3 weeks ahead now, because I have therapy, and they've already set it up for 3 weeks. I had an appointment tomorrow for a hint. My schedule was set. I got a call today from Veronica that checking for Thursday. I said, what about tomorrow? You're not on the schedule. I said, I have an appointment in Denville at 10:30. Oh, we can't take you. I said, I can't cancel it. It's for my hand. I just had a cortisone shot. I'm in a lot of pain. Can't go. So my appointment is canceled tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? What do I do?
I can't answer that for you right now.
Okay, now I have another one. Several people have been on a list. They don't get picked up. They're on the list to be picked up. They forgot them. Okay? Also, I want to know about the bank. I don't drive. I don't have a husband. I can't get to the bank. I have to change accounts. I have a lot to do. They said they don't take it to the bank, and they don't take it to the post office. I have certified mail has to go. I'm alone. What do I do? Who do I talk to? Does anyone have any answers for me? And they cut back our hours for ShopRite. Used to be 12. I'm sorry, Walmart was 12. Now it's 11. And ShopRite, they cut back our hours. Different things. There's just too many changes. We were very happy before. Everything went a lot better than it is now. This no program is not working. Sorry.
Mildred Joy?
Hi, my name is Mildred Joy. I live at Rock Point in Rockaway, and I'm from Dollar Ride, and I have almost the same complaints, but I've been taking the bus for over 10 years, and thank you, Mayor, for all the service you give to the seniors. And now, we were on a list. We were the regulars. We went to Walmart on Monday, ShopRite on Tuesday. Now, with the new people in, want us to call on a Friday so we can go to Walmart on Monday. He wants us to call up a day ahead. And it's so hard for the seniors to remember on a Friday to call in. And we had it so nice before because we were on that list as a regular. And then everything has changed now, and we have a lot of seniors that couldn't come tonight, and they were like all confused. I mean, we're seniors, you know, we do get confused. We forget what day it is sometimes, and they forget to call up, and they can't go to Walmart on Monday. Go pick them up, and then there's people are saying, oh, we got to do that. Nobody gave us any information about the change either. We were told from one person to the other person, you know, this is the new rules now. And it's really affecting us. And then we're feeling like we're being bullied, seniors. And a lot of them show up and they're not on the list. They're like all confused. So if we could go back to the other way, with the regulars, we don't have to call up on a Friday. I forget sometimes too. Call up on a Friday. I'm busy doing things, and it's too late to go to the store, and we have no other way of getting there. And the other thing is the bus drivers aren't allowed to text us anymore, or we're not allowed to call them or text them, where we were before, you know? And that was cut out too, and that's harder too for the seniors, because we were so used to doing that. So that's about it, I think. So thank you.
Thanks. Frank, apologies, I can't read the last name.
Foley. I live in 182 Lakeshore Drive, Rockaway, New Jersey. As you can see, I'm disabled, and dog ride is awesome. They take me shopping, but it was like 3 times. The driver took me shopping early, because by the time I'm done, he drives everyone else off, and he has to pick up my roommate as he drops me off. It's awesome. But now it changed. Now I gotta wait till like 8 o'clock to go, and I'm done like 8:50, 8:30, and I gotta wait till 11. And it doesn't make sense, because the driver liked it. It worked great with him. And the other thing is, I'm disabled, and it's hard for me to get a job. But Walmart in Succotash, Ledgewood, said I can work there, but I can't because I don't have. It's like people tell me I can only work at Rockaway. It's BS, because I can only work till 2 o'clock, because the other ride stops till 2 o'clock, and I'm sitting. That's it, thank you.
Amber Lucitelli?
Hi, my name is Amber Lasatella. I live at 41 Meriden Road, Rockaway, New Jersey. I am a dial-a-ride client. I love the program. It is a blessing to the senior citizens and those with disabilities like myself who have a learning disability. The recent changes affect me. I called over a month ago to set up a ride for my therapist, and I also have a dentist appointment the same day. They told me that I can only have 1 appointment a day. I don't think I should have to make the choice between my dental or mental health. Let's see. It also came to my attention that if you have an appointment the same day and you're grocery shopping, you can only have grocery shopping or a doctor's appointment. I don't think someone should have to choose their health or have to choose their groceries. I also do not like how when I call to confirm my appointment, that they tell me to email. It would only take like 2 minutes just to check on the computer screen to see if I'm on for that day. The taxes keep going up and up each year, so I think it should go back the way it used to be to make it easier on everybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good job, Amber.
Pat Degnan?
Pat Degnan, 88 Valley View Drive. I'm here tonight to compliment our police department. I had a situation today where I came home and my garage door was half open, and I knew it was closed when I left, and there was nobody else in the house. And I called the police department, and they sent 2 officers in there, and they were absolutely phenomenal. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew what a great police department that we had. I thank them so much because I'm basically alone most of the time during the day since I lost my husband. And I've never felt afraid to go into my own house, but I was this afternoon. And they went in, they checked the entire house. I'm just overwhelmed by the generosity of those police officers. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew how good we have with our police department.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Degnan.
Thanks, Chief. Is there anybody that did not sign in that wishes to speak? Mr. Kelly, I just want to remind you of the rules here. You're still on your second warning.
And I still want to make you understand that your rules would be in violation of my First Amendment right under the Constitution, as well as be a violation of the Open Public Meeting Act. But thank you. Just to touch base real quick on Resolution 2555, and it was a resolution that was confirming the appointment of the municipal judge, Honorable Judge Jerry Smith. It was disappointing that I didn't hear anybody talk about the history of the judge and what he's provided to the community before he became a judge, before he was even a public defender, Honorable Judge Jerry Smith was a phenomenal pillar to the community when it came to recreation, sports programs, looking at young individuals and youth to bring them up to hopefully someday they're going to excel in their lives. Maybe even some of you might remember him when you played in the leagues, when he would be announcing and doing everything else that's there. He was a public defender for roughly 5 years. He's been a judge in Rockaway Township for 18 years. Not only is he a judge in Rockaway Township, but he's a judge for Rockaway Borough. He was a judge for Dover Joint Court. He was a judge for Denville, Mountain Lakes, Mount Arlington, and Wharton that's there. And it was just, I was a little taken back that somebody of that high caliber, that is fair to both individuals on each side of the aisle when it comes to the bench, and not one of you mentioned one thing about him. Not one of you. That was very disappointing. But even more disappointing, Mr. Morrison, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Mrs. Thompson came up here over on Henry Street when she was talking about her concerns and issues when it came to senior services that were there. We do know at one time, I think several months ago, they were going to have a meeting at the senior building, and they canceled it because they couldn't get rides for those who needed rides to go to that meeting, so it was canceled to address some of the concerns that they're having tonight. I sat there in the audience listening to that, but prior to that, you had some people from the rec committee. You had another group of people with their concerns on Richard Mine Road, and you had dialogue. You had answers. You had some other assistance. You had other guidance that you were trying to help those individuals. But our seniors, which are 100% rateable in our town, you're driving them out, is hurting us financially. Not once did you offer any assistance, any advice, who to call. All you said is, I don't have an answer for you. That's not what we're supposed to do to our seniors. That's not what we're supposed to do to the members of the public, taxpayers, transient people, businesses. And it just seems that that's the common thread of lack of communication amongst many of you, not all of you, but you specifically, yes. You won't answer questions. You try to silence the public, violating their constitutional rights. You don't give them any guidance or anything of that nature. Why do you do that? Why didn't you answer any questions that they had? Why didn't you direct them to somebody else, or maybe even say, maybe contact MAPS in the county for further assistance to cover those scheduling issues? Why didn't you do that? Mr. Morrison?
Are you done with your 3 minutes?
Thank you.
As somebody who had previously served one term on the council, I'm surprised that you aren't aware of the rules and the decorum. It's not the council's place to answer questions. And again, I don't facilitate the dial-a-ride system. Our administration does. If our administration chooses to enter in a dialogue, they're more than happy to do that. I'm also, I'm sure that the municipal judge would be thrilled to hear your biography on him. Obviously, you have no awareness, nor would you, of any other conversations that are had, or desired by the municipal judge. So I appreciate your admonition. I am extremely sorry, Mr. Kelly, if I personally disappointed you. That will be something that I will be thinking about for a long time. Anybody? No, you may not. Anybody else from the public wishes to speak? I'm sorry you had your 3 minutes. Sorry. Anybody else from the public who has not spoken wish to speak? Okay. Moving on to appointments. Joe Filosa, Fire Company 4. John Filosa, Fire Company 4, Junior Membership. Can I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salber.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses. Motion passes. Congratulations, John. Okay, moving on to reports. I will ask the council members and administration to hold to the 5-minute time limit. Councilman Quinn.
Thank you. First, I want to say that we had a great senior prom for the seniors that attended, and it was fun. We had a good time. A lot of people enjoyed it, and our new coordinator did a great job dealing with it. The fire department
I have to send them a great thank you because they came around to my area, knocked on the doors, and said, can we come in and inspect your fire detection system, fire alarms, everything? They checked the dates to make sure they're not outdated. They checked to make sure they worked. They checked the batteries. They were amazing. I highly recommend that our residents, when they come over, and this is free, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart to make sure that we're safe. So please let them in, let them go through what they have to do. It's a great service. I really appreciated it. All right, the planning board, well, you know, we spent a lot of time on the chicken ordinance, so I'm not going to go over that again. The Citizens Rec Committee, again, the liaisons were assigned to the different programs, but now I guess that's defunct. So we'll move on from there. And the budget. We, as a council, worked hard on the budget. Administration gave us a very good budget. We looked to tweak it a little bit more and give the departments what they asked for if we could, which we did. We supported the programs for the kids. And, you know, this council did a great job. Administration, we sent our recommendations and questions in. They answered them promptly, and it saved a lot of time. So I appreciate the time management that we got, and it worked out perfectly. Thank you.
Councilman Sackett.
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, for the, I know a few residents had brought the senior prom to the town and worked well with the mayor and the whole team. So my mom went to the prom, it was her first prom, and she really had a great time, and it was a good thing. So I'd like to see a lot of different things going on in the township.
Was there an after party?
I wasn't invited. And then a lot of the residents are coming up tonight with concerns and talking about their children and stuff like that. You know, a lot of us on the council do have kids that are taking the buses and that, so we definitely hear concerns. You know, it's not like we hear them, we understand what you're going through with the kids being on the buses and the long days, so we totally understand that, and we feel for you. And just want to wish my daughter a happy birthday. It's her birthday today, so hopefully we get out of here soon so I can do her cake. Thank you.
Councilman Sahlberg.
Thank you, Council President. First, before I start, I do want to thank everyone that assisted me during the budget meeting, during a scary little moment. So thank you, everyone. The response was great, and I'm fine. So thank you. I'm going to discuss, we did have our open space trust fund meeting. They are accepting applications right now through June 19th. Great opportunity. I've got some information to share about it. A couple of the changes, they are requiring a video presenting your application, and that's due by September 4th. So I really do encourage the administration to really look into the opportunity. I'd love to be of as much assistance as I can without getting too involved, because I am on the committee. Just some numbers on the Open Space Trust Fund. This is going to be their 31st year. To date, they have awarded $204,774,000 in funds, securing over 14,700 acres for permanent open space use. So really is a wonderful program, proud to be a part of it, and I would love to see Rockaway to take as much advantage of this as possible. Regarding our Board of Commissioners, not too much going on. Again, we do have the resurfacing that'll be going on Upper Green Pond soon. They've allocated $1.02 million towards that. They did reduce it by $62,000 with no reason, but that was the contractor that did knock a few dollars off of it. Those were some of the main areas. Again,
Councilman, I'm sorry. Folks, I'm going to ask everybody if we could just please quiet. Thank you.
No, that's all right, thank you. Final point, again, opening day for trout is going to be Saturday, April 5th. The streams are closed now, so don't fish them yet. But again, I encourage everyone to go to Hibernia Company 1 on that Saturday. Ladies Auxiliary does a great breakfast, and it's for a great cause. That's all I have, thank you.
Councilman Witovich?
I have no report. I just want to comment on the statement that was made by the Recreation Committee, with the resolution that was just 2561. Some of the things you said that, you guys have no power to get involved in code of conduct or bylaws. This is actually going to allow you to do that. This is what these changes are meant to do for you, for each sport to program, come up with their own bylaws, submit it to the township, and it limits the liability for the township, and it gives more power to each program. So I think this is something that's going to accomplish exactly what we're speaking about. People that are here for Dial Ride, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we added more funding for the Dial Ride program, correct? In this current budget, we are adding more money. I mean, some of the issues that were addressed, I'm sure we could work them out. That's all I have.
Councilman Freelander?
Thank you, Council President. I'll be short tonight. Well, I'm always short, but on the library, if you go into the library, the main, and go down the steps, you'll see it. They're starting to clean up and do some things inside. There's a beautiful mural. You got to take a look at it. It's amazing. We had an artist come in and set that up. Right now, we're in the process of filing for grants for the Hibernia branch. As you know, it's an historical building, so we have to go that way, and hopefully we'll get some money this coming year to do some upgrades, which are well needed. Substance Abuse Alliance is working through its phases. Right now, meeting with some famous people from all sports world to come to Celebrity Day at the end of May, which I'll report later. But we're planning some fundraisers at Orange Fitness in town, very successful last year. We're talking about bingo, so we're moving pretty good as far as that end to promote our programs in the middle school, which are doing a phenomenal job with the kids. As far as anything else, no meetings to really report. And let me end it now.
Councilman Brooks?
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. You can answer me now or later, it doesn't really matter. How many buses of Dial Ride are we actually running a day? Like, do we have 2 buses, 3 buses? How many do we have? I don't remember.
Probably buses, I think only a couple of buses. Dave's not here. And then we have some vans and a car, I think.
Okay, right, okay. And I know that you guys did send a Nixle alert about the changes of schedule due to the Route 80
We printed them out
conflict.
too and gave them to the drivers to hand out.
Thank you very much. Also, for the public, in terms of the Richard Mine stuff, I know we're gonna bring it up the road, but I'm well aware of that. I live right next to Richard Mine. I'm dealing with the same issues as you. I don't have to worry about the road caving in because Ms. Ferranti made sure that we had the higher asphalt when we had the roads done, so it's taking that. But I will say that having a tour bus turn around in my driveway again today was also fun. So I do feel your pain there.
How much you charge?
A tour bus, one of those big tour buses. I don't know, you never know. Some people like to take pictures of my property, so.
It's the chickens.
Yeah, or my daughters. So, the other thing that I want to just thank the police department for when they do get onto that intersection. They were there when I came to the council meeting. I did have about 3 phone calls today from residents about the amount of tractor trailers that were coming down the road today. So I do want to thank you for them being out there. And hopefully it won't be much longer. Thank you.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes, ditto to that, but hopefully it won't be that much longer. Councilman Salberg mentioned opening Trout Day on the 5th. Right?
Yes.
You did say the 5th, right? Okay, because the Easter thing is also on that. The Easter Bunny is also on the 5th, right, at Birchwood?
Sounds right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do we have a time on that, or no?
The Easter thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8,
It's 8 a.m.
No. Hold on. 10 to 12. There you go. When is it? The 5th?
The 5th, April 5th. Is it 10?
Yes,
I have
correct.
8, okay.
So
all right.
do some fishing, wash your hands, and
And come see the Easter Bunny at Birchwood. So the Easter Bunny will be at Birchwood, April 5th.
10 o'clock.
After fishing, go there. And that's all I have, thank you.
Council Vice President?
I just have one note. A resident had reached out that if you're coming down Green Pond Road right after Metro Supply, if you notice on the southbound side, there's the big rock. Some residents paint the rock, people hit the rock. It's kind of a problem, the rock, but it's a mountain. What are you can't do too much about it. The concern was that the double lines on the road are fading. So if maybe the township could reach out to the county and see if they can do something about repainting those lines, you know, just to help people understand where the road is. People are driving right into the rock, yes. It's, you know, a problem. But anyway, if you could just do that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I just have a couple things. I want to echo what the gentleman from Ward 2 said about the budget. We're going on, I think, 3 years now of the modified budget process, having it all in one day. And the administration and the council does a tremendous amount of work to make it run that smoothly. Lots and lots of questions beforehand to clear it up. And it really is a good partnership. There was a comment from somebody about the taxes that keep going up and up. I do want to mention, I think we're on, Mayor, 3 years right now of 4 years of zero increase on the municipal budget. As a reminder, we do not set the budget for the Board of Ed. So on the municipal portion of your budget, you have not seen an increase in 4 years. I also want to echo what Councilman Quinn said. I was in Ward 2 the Saturday after the budget meeting, and not only was the fire department out there, the Red Cross was out there in partnership. There were citizens out on the lawns and in the street talking to the fire department. I know Ms. Quinn was happy to, have the inspectors, she did not object to a bunch of young firemen traipsing through her house. But again, it's just another example of a public service that the town and the fire departments, undertake to serve the community. I don't want to keep talking about sinkholes, but again, the administration and the council hears you, right? We drive the same roads. It took me over 35 minutes today to drive from the CVS in Denville to here. And the ways took me in back roads. I went through, by Indian Lake, and it was, little narrow roads, and I was sitting in traffic. So we hear you. It's not ideal, but rest assured, these guys are doing all they can. I also want to point out that, tonight's council meeting, it's really nice to see spirited discussion amongst the council. And I'd like to point out that, I appreciate everybody's point of view. I appreciate everybody's professionalism and understanding of a point of view. We may not agree with each other, but we still respect each other. And I think that is something worth noting. So thank you to the council. As far as reports, we have a meeting tomorrow on affordable housing. So I'm looking forward to that. I know that, again, the administration is working hard. There's some things in motion with affordable housing, so I'll be attending that meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, she already,
Mr. Yachafano.
she already asked.
Really? Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, so a bunch of stuff. So first, Citizens Rec Committee. First of all, thank you. The three of you do a tremendous amount for our township, and I know Patrick, I don't even know how long you coach football or softball for, and I know the program's not the same without you. I think, Jackie, you said a lot of good things, and you summed it up about, some of the lack of control, per se, that the Citizens Rec Committee had, but I do think you would be better served to help with these programs, to write bylaws and help them make recommendations like that we could send off the GIF. And we would certainly welcome your participation in that, for sure. But I think this is more of a, I think we talked to the council about, a liability type issue that we're looking to just eliminate. But I think the intent is to make the programs better and stronger. And so I think people like you working with the programs will accomplish that. I do have a concern that R2561 didn't pass because it is of our opinion that right now, youth sport coaches aren't properly covered by the insurance. So if one of them gets sued, that was the point of this, and we talked about that. That was part of the point of that resolution, was to make sure that youth sport coaches and volunteers were properly insured. And I think by that not passing, I don't believe they are. So it's something we might have to address with our programs and make sure that they have their own insurance for their coaches. In terms of Dollar Ride, I'm sad that everybody left. I think what I would say is there's several rules that Dollar Ride has always had. I don't think they were always enforced. The town puts, we have a tremendous budget for Dollar Ride, and as was mentioned by Councilman Wojtovich, we increased it this year. It is a service we provide the free for people in need. It's not an Uber service, so like we just can't take people back and forth to places. We try to accommodate everybody's needs. I know for a fact you don't have to use a computer. We like the computer because it makes scheduling easier, right? Everything's in a spreadsheet. We get it that way. It's easier to schedule. It's a big process. There's a lot of, there's close to 100 people, I guess, using it right now. So to schedule all those trips out and, it's always been 2 weeks notice. If we can do it quicker and there's an opening, we'll fit you in. But that's always been the case. There are other services for people need. There's the county program MAPS. I'm not very familiar with it or how it works. But there's that program for people who can't get Dial-A-Ride. But I know we've made reporting changes within the Dial-A-Ride program, and some of the structural changes we made were out of necessity and out of issues we were finding in the program. And in terms of cell phones, we do not believe that employees should be giving out their personal cell phones to residents. So, and it allows them to circumvent the whole point of the scheduling process. So, I wouldn't agree with that being a good practice. So our New Jersey Healthy Town recognition that we got last year, we got a plaque for that. The Library Festival's coming up. When is, Manny, you have that in front of you? We put it on the board out front so people driving by can see it. So that's good stuff. They had a St. Patrick's Day dinner last Friday at Germania Park. Incredible corned beef and cabbage. They did a great job. It's really good. As Jack mentioned, Councilman Quinn mentioned, the seniors prom. It was an idea that Emily Coleman told me, I think 2 years ago at the senior picnic, and we ran with it. And once Shannon got in a role, she ran with it, and it was just great. We had party favors for everybody. There were, I think, over 100 seniors there, so it was a really big success, and very happy with how it turned out. That's all I have for tonight.
Ms. Palmieri?
Just want to thank everyone who made your comments on the budget. I think it ran very smoothly this year as well, and I appreciate all the calls ahead of time, and we're able to address those without having to spend a lot of time, in this meeting. I have taken a lot of notes in regards to Dial-A-Ride. I think the mayor pretty much touched on everything, but it's true, we have been, these policies have been in place all along. It's just that now we are, focusing on and enforcing them. That's all I have.
Ms. Fronte?
Yes, two updates. One, fortunately, New Jersey Natural Gas is not going to be completed in White Meadow Lake until April. However, we have made the suggestion that since New Jersey Natural Gas is being pulled off of county and state work in the area, perhaps they could give us another crew to finish up this project in White Meadow Lake. And we are just about to start construction activity on Richard Street in the Birchwood section. Hopefully
Mr. Tabbitt?
Thank you, Council President. Just one item to bring to the public's attention. The township will be participating in the gypsy moth suppression program, which typically happens in mid-May. It depends on a few factors like the foliation of the trees in the spring and the life cycle of the gypsy moth. It's a pretty big undertaking with many moving parts. It's a cooperative program between the Division of Health and the township as well as the state. And it was funded by the council, as it was in 2016 and 2017, to prevent severe defoliation in parts of the town. This year's program is going to be a little smaller than it was in years past, about 293 acres, if I remember correctly, mostly in the very northern part of the town, pretty much contiguous to Jefferson, in the Green Pond area, and a little bit further south than that. So there will be notification to residents based on the gypsy moth egg mass survey done by the state. We will be sending out letters to every residential property that's affected. There will be a press release. The council will have a resolution before them to declare the gypsy moth a nuisance pest at its next meeting. So everything being done in accordance with state requirements and regulations. And we'll have a team from the Division of Health out on the road the day of the program just to make sure that it's being done safely and that everyone's aware of what's going on. So thank you.
Chief?
Thank you, Council President. Just two additional things. Thank you very much for the kind words for the officers. That's much appreciated. And additionally, a good report. We had Officer Carmelina Rojas and DJ Redden that Sunday were able to assist in the delivery of a baby, so that was exciting and all went well. So, good report.
Council President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to go back into an executive closed session to discuss pending and anticipated litigation.
I will second that. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander.
Yes.
Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon.
Yes.
Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes, but I think we skipped Doug.
You made him a female.
My apologies, Mr. Brooks. Councilman, I can't speak right now. I'm losing my voice at
My
this
flowing
point.
hair sometimes
I'm
gets
sorry,
me
my
confused with the
apologies.
lady.
Sir,
I'm good, yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Please include me.
Council President Morrison.
Yes, it's 9 yeses. Okay, once again, we're going to go into a closed session. I don't anticipate any action being taken after the closed session. You all are welcome to stay, however, I anticipate returning and then immediately adjourning.
You guys don't need to come back.
Yep,
Yeah.
thanks, Pete.
Chief.
I'd like to make a motion to return from closed session.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Yes.
Councilman Freeland.
Yes, you didn't need that.
Councilwoman Sackett.
Well, my wife's not here, but I'm here.
Come on, Councilwoman.
She sometimes sits in for me. Councilman Sackett's here. Councilman Sackett says yes.
Person stuck his name.
Okay.
I'm done today. Councilman Sackett.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Brooks.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noon. Councilman Salberg.
Yes.
Councilman Vojtovich.
Yes.
Council Vice President Brooks.
Yes.
Council President Morrison. I don't think I'll even get another word out after this.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn by consensus. All in favor?
Second.
Aye.